Okay, everybody, welcome. As I told you, congratulations because you have started Intermediate 2. So right now we are just 4 months up to finish. And I know you've been working hard, so please continue working like that. And you will achieve your goal of finishing the course and getting your certification. Now, today we are going to talk about verbs followed by gerunds. You can find this topic also as verb patterns. And also, we are going to talk about noun classes after be. These noun classes, we have seen some of them before, but today we are going to see another similar type of noun clauses. So here we have a reading, and what I want to show you about this reading is that usually we are going to find verbs with the gerund form and some others with the infinitive form. And what we are going to discover today is why. Why sometimes the verbs are with a gerund form and why sometimes they are in the infinitive form. I'm going to read for you. My most negative quality is that I'm not very neat and tidy. Sometimes I worry about being so disorganized, but I never feel like I'm doing anything about it. My apartment is always a mess, so I can never find anything. Last week, for example, I finished doing some homework and then started to make dinner. In the morning, I couldn't find my assignment anywhere, so I had to redo it. I really want to change my bad habits, but I don't know where to start. Can you see that in a really short story or short paragraph, we find gerunds and infinitives? But if you check or if you look, there are some keys to know when to use one or another. In this case, for example, about being, feel like doing, finish doing. In this case, for example, in the first case, we have a preposition. Every time we find a preposition, the verb after the preposition is going to take the gerund form, the ing form. Another key, feel like. Remember that we studied before that when we find verbs of preference, like, for example, like, love, hate, enjoy, usually the verb after is going to take the gerund form. And finish doing. There are some verbs that are followed, some specific verbs that are followed by the gerund form. Now, if we check the infinitive form, for example, I can never find. In this case, find is directly related to the modal verb can. So remember, one rule. In this case, can never find. This is a bare infinitive. When we say bare infinitive, it means that we don't use the word to. That's the verb infinitive. So find is here is related with the modal verb can. That's a bare infinitive. Now, started to make, want to, change. In this case, we have specific verbs that you need to learn that they are followed by by the infinitive form. And here we have another key, and is that where to start. When we find WH words, the verb that follows the WH word is going to take the infinitive form. Questions, comments? I'm going to show you a chart with explanation, but I want to know if there is some questions so far.
No, teacher, for me.
Okay. Cuando nosotros hablamos de los gerunds y los infinitives, hay unas claves que pueden tener muy en cuenta, tratar de memorizar para cuando vayan a hablar y a escribir. Por ejemplo, si yo tengo una preposición, después de esa preposición, el verbo va a tomar la gerund form. O sea, después de una preposición, el verbo va a ir con ing. Mientras que después de un adjetivo, ¿sí? De una cualidad, el verbo va a tener la forma infinitiva. Ejemplo, wash your hands before eating. Lávate las manos antes de comer. Before es una preposición. Entonces, por eso es wash your hands before eating. Tidy up the table after finishing your homework. After es una preposición, entonces after finishing your homework. Y preposiciones hay muchas. After, before, by, bueno, on, in. Todas esas son preposiciones. Ahora, con los adjetivos, después de los adjetivos voy a utilizar la forma infinitiva. Nice to meet you. To meet es la forma infinitiva. Nice es un adjetivo que significa agradable o chévere o bueno. It's important to listen carefully. Es importante escuchar. Important to listen. Entonces, siempre que tengamos adjetivos, después de los adjetivos va a ir la forma infinitiva. Para el principio de las oraciones, la mayoría de las veces vamos a tomar el ing. ¿Recuerdan cuando vimos las subject pronouns al principio de las oraciones? Being famous is not easy. Having children is challenging. Swimming is good for your health. Entonces, al iniciar las oraciones vamos a evitar el to. Pero después de las question words, vamos a tomar la forma infinitiva. Sorry. I don't know where to start. I don't understand why to pick up the things that way. Estas son unas clavecitas que pueden tener en cuenta para saber cuándo. ¿Cuándo es que va con el to y cuándo es que va con el ing? Porque no es algo indiscriminado. Hay ciertas reglas. Now, talking about gerunds, specifically about gerunds, we have some rules. We use the gerund after these verbs. We use any of those, I mean, gerund or infinitive after this type of verbs. And we use the gerund form after these expressions containing prepositions. So, Diego, can you read the examples of the first rule, please?
Yes. My most negative quality is that I am not very neat until sometimes I worry about being so disorganized.
Give me a sec. Aren't you seeing a slide with some rules?
No, uh,
Any of you?
No,
I
teacher.
only the title, the gerunds and infinitive. Yes, I see.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So here in this part, there are the rules that I'm telling you. Prepositions, adjectives, beginning of sentences, and question words. When to use ing and when to use the infinitive form. And now, talking specifically about gerunds, we have these rules. Can you read these three examples?
Okay. Use the gerund form after these verbs. Enjoy going to parties where I don't know everyone. I avoid expressing my feelings and ideas in public. I don't mean giving up my time to help other people.
Okay, thank you. In this case, these are the verbs that we are talking about. Love, like, hate, enjoy, don't mind. Those verbs are usually avoid. Those verbs are usually followed by gerund forms. Paula, can you read the second rule? Use the gerund or infinitive form after these verbs.
I can't stand being to be in a messy room. I love taking to take my friends to cool new clubs. I hate getting up to get up for early morning classes.
In this case, we can use any of those forms. Cualquiera de los dos va a estar correcto. Y no se altera el significado de la oración. Okay, now the last rule, Muffin.
Use the gerund or infinitive form after these verbs. I can't stand being to be in a messy room.
No,
I
no,
love
the last three.
I hate.
I insist on making.
Oh, sorry. I insist on making my own decisions. I always feel like going dancing. I'm into going out to new foreign restaurants.
Thank you. In this case, the prepositions are this one. On, like. In this case, like is used as a preposition. Into is the preposition. So when we find these type of expressions, we are going to use the gerund form. Now let's try to practice. Let's see another rule, and then we practice the content, because these rules are kind of extensive. These verbs, when we are talking about the type of verbs that we need to use the gerund after: deny, discuss, finish, mention, practice, quit, resist, and suggest. Followed by an infinitive. Arrange, claim, decide, demand, deserve, expect, pretend, refuse, volunteer, want, and so many others. Most of the verbs are followed by infinitives. So this is why we focus on learn the ones that are followed by gerunds. Expressions always followed by gerunds. Had fun or had a good time. Has trouble or has a good time. Being busy and worried about something. Some verbs that change, some verbs that take infinitive or gerund form, but when you use one or another, the meaning changes. Stop, for example. Con esto último, cuando nosotros tomamos o el gerund o el infinitive, va a cambiar el verbo, o sea, el significado de la oración. Y les voy a explicar por qué. Por ejemplo, si yo utilizo I stopped to drink some coffee, quiere decir que yo finalicé una actividad y empecé otra. O sea, yo paré de hacer lo que estaba haciendo para empezar a tomar el café. ¿Sí? Nos estaban haciendo una tarea y paré un momento para poder tomarme un café. Pero si yo digo I stopped drinking coffee, quiere decir que ya no voy a hacer eso más. Ya no voy a tomar más café, ya dejé de tomar café. Eso pasa con el verbo stop. I stopped running when I got tired. Temporalmente finalicé una actividad. Y luego la puedo retomar. Esto mismo, esto que les estoy mostrando con stop, sucede con el verbo, por ejemplo, remember. Cuando yo digo, I remember closing the door, quiere decir que yo recuerdo que hice esa acción. Pero si yo digo, remember to close the door, le estoy pidiendo a alguien que por favor recuerde que tiene que hacer esto. En la primera oración, yo tengo un recuerdo de haber hecho esto en el pasado. En algún punto en el pasado cerré la puerta. Pero si yo digo, remember to close the door, quiere decir que le estoy dando un recordatorio a una persona de que debe hacerlo en el futuro. Questions?
Teacher, for me, is confused. I need practice.
It's confusing?
Yeah.
What part is confusing?
I don't identify a position, their verb, are y el adjetivo.
Ok, cuando me hablas del adjetivo y del verbo, de los ejemplos o de las reglas que les di antes en donde les decía que después de los adjetivos van los infinitivos,
Ujú. Sí, teacher.
mira, it's important to be on time. It's nice to meet you. She's open to new ideas. She's open to go with us. En estas oraciones, ¿el adjetivo cuál es?
El adjetivo sería important, nice,
Ujú.
open.
Esos son los adjetivos, las características.
Yes.
Cuando yo tengo un adjetivo en una oración y luego de ese adjetivo voy a usar un verbo, ese verbo tiene que estar en infinitivo. Important to be, estar a tiempo. Nice to meet you. She's open to go with us. Yo no puedo decir, it's important being, con ing, being on time. No puedo decir eso. It's nice meeting you. No puedo decir eso. She's open going with us. No puedo decir eso. O sea, justo después de estas palabras, no voy a utilizar el ing.
Okay.
Any other question? Because sometimes this topic is confusing.
Yes.
Any other question about this?
No, teacher.
Okay. So I'm going to kindly ask you to go to quizzes. And we are going to practice with some sentences. You are going to identify when to use the infinitive and when to use the gerund.
Teacher, you change the se está presentando algo. Porque, no,
No, estoy,
creo que dices.
yes, estoy, I'm trying, I'm trying to start the game to show you the code. As soon as the code is ready, I'm going to show you the screen again. This is the code, guys. 484749. And I just sent the link in case you want to click the link on the chat. Angelica, could you find the link?
Yes, teacher. I'm register.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, most of you have finished or are about to finish. At any moment, I'm going to show you the results. How was it, guys? How was the quiz? Was it difficult? Was it easy?
For confusing me.
It's
And
confused, teacher.
we
Yes,
when I
teacher. I don't understand the team.
confusion
Okay,
when I use the gerund and
Yes,
um,
yo empecé a ver como digamos, no veía adjetivo, entonces usaba el ing y me decía no, que to buy o algo así, entonces me confundí.
pero
in my
recuerda que el
book.
adjetivo no es la única regla.
Mm. Ah,
El adjetivo es solo una regla. Si hay preposiciones, va con el ing. Si hay una lista de verbos, los verbos con los que deben usar ing y otros específicos con los que deben usar em, el infinitivo. Si son modales, es el infinitivo sin la palabra to, el very infinitive. O sea, son varias reglas. Y si son ciertas expresiones y esas expresiones contienen preposiciones, okay, here we have the podium. Mafe, Diego, and Liliana, congratulations.
así es la única vez que me veo en el podio.
So it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad for you, Diego. Okay, now we are going to talk about noun clauses. Noun clauses, I don't want you to see this as a difficult topic because it isn't. It is not difficult. It's really simple. The noun clause is called this way because you are going to take a complete clause or a complete sentence with a subject and a predicate as the noun. Do you remember what a noun is? Do you remember what a noun is in a sentence?
¿Sustantivo?
Yes, in Spanish it's sustantivo, but we can say that is the person or thing that makes the action, right? El sustantivo es la persona o la cosa que hace la acción en una oración. ¿Hasta ahí vamos bien?
Yes, teacher.
¿Qué sucede? Que en estas noun clauses, sorry, en estas noun clauses, ese noun, ese sustantivo, no es solamente un nombre. No es Paula, Angélica, Diego, María Fernanda, no es un nombre o no es una cosa o un animal, el perro, la casa, ¿sí? Ese no va a ser el noun. El noun va a ser toda esta primera parte que les encerré aquí. Por ejemplo, the only trouble with being a two-income family is. Todo esto es lo que nosotros vamos a tomar como el sustantivo de la oración. Y nos vamos a encontrar con una serie de expresiones que son las que vamos a tener en cuenta. The only trouble with. Recuerden que estamos viendo que justo después de las preposiciones va el ing. With es una preposición. Y por eso vamos a utilizar el verbo que sigue con ing. en la primera parte de la oración. The big advantage of having grandma at home is... Y aquí quiero que quede muy claro, chicos, por qué acá utilizamos is, el verbo to be en singular. Porque cuando yo digo el único problema de ser una familia con dos ingresos, el único problema es singular. Entonces, por eso el verbo va a ir en tercera persona singular. ¿Estoy siendo clara? La gran ventaja de tener a la abuela en casa es, entonces, si ven todo eso, la gran ventaja de tener a la abuela en casa, esa parte es el sustantivo o el noun de estas oraciones. Y el verbo va a ir en singular, en tercera persona, porque sería una sola cosa. The only trouble, el único problema. The big advantage, la gran ventaja, es, and after or in the middle, we have an option. We can use that or not. It's optional, okay? And then we have the rest of the sentence. We don't spend as much time together. She can babysit more often. So we have the noun, the first part with the gerund, the verb in gerund, and then we have what we want to say about that situation. The only trouble with being a two-income family is that we don't spend as much time together. The big advantage of having grandma at home is that she can babysit more often. Questions?
No, teacher.
Okay. Let's read about these families. So, Angelica, can you help me reading about the Watsons in Sydney?
Okay, teacher. My wife and I both work now, and the extra money is great. The only trouble with being a two-income family is we don't spend as much time together.
Thank you. Diego, the Wangs in Vancouver.
Sorry. The ones Vancouver were an extended family. Now that grandma has moved in, the big advantage of having her at home is that she can babysit more often.
Mhm. María Fernanda, the
Yes, teacher.
Patels, London.
The Pattles, London. We're a typical nuclear family. It's just my sister, my parents, and me. The only bad thing about living in our house is there's only one bathroom.
Thank you. We have here some new vocabulary to talk about families. Two-income family, extended family, nuclear family, monoparental family, traditional family, articulated or integrated family. And this vocabulary is important because in this unit, you are going to be required to talk about your family. And it's not only to share about your family, but it's also to include this vocabulary, these grammatical expressions, and express the advantages or disadvantages of your type of family. Si ustedes se dan cuenta en las oraciones que les subrayé, van a ver que describen la familia. The only bad thing about living in our house, la única cosa mala de vivir en nuestra casa es que hay un solo baño. Y justo después de la palabra is viene lo que nosotros queremos expresar o sobre lo que nos queremos quejar de esa situación. The only trouble with being a two-income family, el único problema. But we are going to find another expressions. The nice thing, the hard part, the upside or the downside of, about, trouble with. So those are the expressions that you need to learn to talk about families. Questions about noun classes after be? Yes, no, maybe.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, here we have some examples. How to combine sentences. We have two sentences here. I'm the youngest in the family. The nice thing is I get a lot of attention. I transform these two sentences in one clause by using the structures that we are seeing. The nice thing about being the youngest in the family is that I get a lot of attention. Let's try with the second example. Who would like to try? I need a volunteer to try with the second one. How to transform I have a young sister, period. The trouble is she always wants to borrow my clothes, period. How would you transform two sentences into one clause? Nobody? Any idea?
No, teacher. For example, I mm, or not the sister. No, teacher, I don't know.
Teacher, the trouble with having a younger sister. No,
Okay,
it's a
It's
no.
possible. Yes, the trouble is.
the trouble with, we need to
Mm,
use the gerund form.
is
Saying,
Having
teacher being,
Having.
I'm having.
The trouble with having
a younger sister.
Is she always want to borrow my clothes?
in this case, always wants to borrow my
My
clothes.
clothes.
So
I
what we
have
are,
is
no,
no.
to borrow my clothes.
Okay.
Remember that the objective is to use this type of expressions. The trouble. In this case, we need to add the preposition, the trouble with. I have here the nice thing. The nice thing about being, I need to add the preposition to form the noun clause. Let's try with the third one. What do I need in the beginning of the sentence, of the clause?
The what part? Yeah, see, the what part? About
In this case, with this expression, the preposition is of. The bad part of, and I need the gerund. What is the verb here?
being.
Teacher.
It's to be, being. I am, see, to be. I am at college.
I am is transformed into being. The bad part of being where?
In a way. At college.
¿Cuál es lo malo de estar lejos por la universidad? The bad part of being away at college. O sea, la parte negativa o la parte mala de estar
His
en la
dad is
universidad.
his dad is my family. Yes, his dad is my family.
That I miss my family. Okay. Therefore, but Diego cannot participate in this try. Diego is out of the contest. Okay, therefore, the last one.
The worst thing. Preposition. Yeah.
In this case, is
Possible
about.
okay.
Very good, Paula. The worst thing about what?
About think? No, excuse me. About
A ver. Sorry, teacher.
No, Diego is out of the contest.
Teacher, puedo intentar.
Yes, of course.
The worst thing about work at 9
Okay,
is
work, but we need the ing because we have a preposition. So the worst thing about
working at 9 is I can have dinner with my family.
Very good.
Teacher, creo que te faltó el is, o no sé.
Yes. Is. Okay, aquí el that es opcional. It's optional. Ahora sí lo comprenden un poquito más. Ya está un poquito más claro ahora que sí hicieron ustedes el ejercicio de transformar las oraciones.
yes,
Yes,
teacher.
teacher.
Yes, teacher.
De
So,
entenderlo,
yes.
de entenderlo, yo lo que me basé fue como, pues más como la forma, o sea, no como muy gramatical, sino que llegaba, yo miraba, bueno, la mitad y el verbo, buscaba eso.
Es como el passive voice, pero más fácil.
Exactamente. De hecho, es más fácil que el passive voice, es transformar dos oraciones que tenemos, convertirlas en una sola oración más completa. ¿Para qué? Para evitar que todo esté como dividido con tantos puntos. Cuando empezamos a escribir en básico uno, en básico 2, recuerda que yo te decía, por favor, las oraciones terminan con punto, cada vez que terminemos una idea le ponemos un punto, para evitar como ese exceso de chop, 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 chop con puntos. Lo que hacemos es utilizar conectores y cómo utilizamos, o sea, cómo conectamos las ideas, utilizando preposiciones, utilizando em, ah, relative pronouns, ¿sí? Esas son las cosas que ya vamos aprendiendo, que son más avanzadas, que nos ayudan a tener mayor cohesión. Y aquí lo que yo quiero es conectar dos ideas. Y la clave, como dice Diego, o sea, para hacerlo de una manera muy intuitiva, es que siempre las oraciones van a empezar con la característica. ¿Cuál es la característica? The nice thing, the trouble, the bad part, the worst part, the best part of, the upside, o sea, lo positivo, pero también podría tener the downside, lo negativo de una situación, ¿sí? Ese va a ser el principio. Ese va a ser el principio. Voy a ponerle después una preposición, la preposición que vaya de acuerdo con, la preposición que vaya de acuerdo con la expresión que estoy usando, el verbo con ing y luego lo que yo quiero decir, ¿sí? Va a ir justo después, por eso se llama noun clauses with be, porque siempre lo que yo quiero decir sobre esta situación va a estar después del verbo to be. Okay, guys, that will be all for today. I know our class today was really short, and I'm sorry about that, but I don't know, everything failed today. Zoom was asking me for updates at last moment. My camera is not working well. And then I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was Zoom or Google, but they don't synchronize. And if they don't synchronize, you can't not book the class. I mean, whole day we have been having trouble with Zoom. But thank you for your patience and thank you for being here. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, teacher. Goodbye.
Bye bye,
Thank you,
guys.
teacher. Have a good night.
Good
See you
night, bye.
tomorrow.
Bye bye.